Hello everyone. So let's get started with our second lesson on nouns. Each sentence is made of many words which are used to express oneself or convey the ideas or thoughts so that you are rightly understood. So you have to make sure that these words are rightly placed in a sentence so that they are not misinterpreted or misunderstood. Words are divided into different kinds according to their usage in a sentence. This is called parts of speech. So, why do you think parts of speech is so important to know? When I talk about any language and when I talk about improving in English, what exactly I'm talking about? When we speak a language, we basically frame sentences, and each sentence is made of these words. So, if we do not ensure that we are using the right word at the right place, we might convey the wrong meaning, and the listener or the reader might get a different meaning as it was intended. So the parts of speech are eight in number: noun, adjective, pronoun, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. So are you thinking that I'm going to use all these parts of speech at the same time in a sentence? Not at all. We, in fact, cannot use all of them at the same time in a sentence because all of these parts of speech have different purposes in a sentence, and it's difficult to use them together. Nevertheless, the most important parts of speech without which you cannot frame a sentence is noun or a pronoun and a verb. I cannot have a sentence without a subject. So if you want to make sure that you're making a checklist of all the things that you need to take care of while correcting your own sentence, then checking for a noun or a pronoun and a verb stands at the first number in your priority list. If the noun is not there or a pronoun is not there, which means the subject is missing, then there's something wrong with the sentence because then you do not know whom you're talking about. And this is a commonly made mistake by most of the students. They write sentences and they do not mention the clear subject, or sometimes their verb is missing, which makes their sentence meaningless. All the other parts of speech like adjective, pronoun, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection, they are used as needed in the sentence. Their usage is optional. It is not necessary to use them. But as I say, but as I said, it is mandatory to have a subject and a verb in a sentence. Now let's try to understand all these parts of speech in detail one by one so that you know how to use them correctly in a sentence. Let's get started with nouns. What is noun? Something that you can see, a person, place, or thing is called a noun. The nouns are classified as countable nouns and uncountable nouns. What are countable nouns? There are so many objects and people around us like book, pen, apple, and I can count them. So they're called countable nouns. Yet I can see so many other things which I can't count, like milk, oil, sugar. They're also nouns, but they're uncountable nouns. So, uncountable nouns mainly denote substances and abstract things. Countable nouns have plural forms like apple, apples, boy, boys, pen, pens, while uncountable nouns do not. For example, we cannot say milks or sugars. We can say books or pens. So there are different ways to express the plural form of these uncountable nouns, which will be discussed later. Let's try to understand the different kinds of noun. Let's start with a simple example. Tipu Sultan was a brave warrior. Tipu Sultan is the name of a person. It refers to a particular warrior. It's unique in nature, whereas the word warrior could be applied to any warrior. We've had millions of warriors in our history, so maybe this word warrior could could talk about anyone, not necessarily Tipu Sultan. But this word Tipu Sultan only refers to one single person. That is why it is called a proper noun. And warrior is a common noun. So now let's try to summarize. A proper noun is the name of a particular person or place. Proper means one's own. So a proper name is a person's own name. There are a few examples like Lakshmi is a proper noun, while girl is a common noun. London is a proper noun, while city is a common noun. Now, what is common noun? As the name suggests, it is common everywhere. It is shared by all, like girl, book, pen, chair, table. It does not refer to any specific chair or any specific table. It could be any chair or any table. That is why it comes in between a sentence and it is written with a small letter, whereas proper nouns are always written with a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence. Now, proper nouns are sometimes used as common nouns. For example, he was the lookman of his age. Now, in these cases, basically, we are trying to compare the characteristics of a person with the characteristics of maybe a person who is well recognized. So, in this sentence, maybe he is as wise as Lookman because Lookman was known as one of the wisest man. So, therefore, he has wisdom which is as much as Lookman's wisdom. Similarly, when you say Kalidas is often called the Shakespeare of India, we all know Shakespeare has one of the greatest dramatists and authors and all. So probably when I'm comparing Kalidas with Shakespeare, I'm talking about his expertise and skill set, which is as good as Shakespeare's. So here in these two sentences, I am using proper noun as common noun because there is a comparison between the person with whom you are comparing and your subject. Now, what is collective noun? As the name suggests, it means collection of things or persons. So when you have a group of 10 people, you need not talk about every person separately. You need to talk about them as a group. For example, crowd, mob, team, flock, herd, army. You have some examples here. Fleet of ships, army of soldiers, crowd of people. Let's try to understand how to use them in sentences. The police dispersed the crowd. The French army was defeated at Waterloo. The jury found the prisoner guilty. The few examples of collective noun which are given: a pack of wolves, a bunch of keys, flowers, grapes, a flight of stairs, a clump of trees, a cluster of stars, a shoal of fish, an anthology of stories, a swarm of ants, a loaf of bread, a row of books. There are few more: a herd of cows, herd of cattle, or elephants, crew of soldiers, a band of musicians, a flock of sheep, a jury of judges. So these are all examples for the collective noun, and you have to make sure that you use them with these, specific words so that your sentences are grammatically correct and they make complete sense. The last, type of noun that we're going to discuss is abstract noun. This is something that we cannot see, but we can feel. For example, wisdom, beauty, intelligence. I cannot see intelligence. I cannot see beauty. And for one person, intelligence may mean something else. For other, it may be something else because you cannot see. You can feel. So what one person feels could be different from what the other feels. It is based on opinion. Abstract nouns can be formed from adjectives like kindness from kind, honesty from honest. Like, he's an honest person who is loved by everyone. Everyone loves him because of his honesty. You can make abstract nouns from verbs: obedience from obey, growth from grow. You can make abstract nouns from common nouns: childhood from child, slavery from slave. So that's all about nouns for now. I hope it was useful. In the further lessons, we'll go through all the other parts of speech in detail. So happy learning and looking forward to, seeing you in the further lessons. Thank you.